Hi, this is Dodger, and you're watching my show.
Three, two, one, ready, go.
There is no one here right now, like nobody. I'm all by myself, which is super weird. Although, this time I'm not here really early in the morning. This time I'm here very late at night. Because, okay, stupid reason, but I really wanted to make this show with my teal hair, and I didn't have it at the normal time that I make this show, so I put it off. I put it off until 10 p.m. But who cares about that? You guys don't care about hair, you care about Blizzcon. And if you don't care about Blizzcon, then this entire episode is gonna feel weird for you because it's all about Blizzcon stuff. All of it. So gird your loins, I guess. Let's talk about Heroes of the Storm first. Reason being, it's a bit lighter, and also the light element of it is kind of what people are excited about. So a lot of people who play League of Legends have said often in the past, you know, I love Riot and I love that they've done some silly things, but they're never willing to have silly elements actually be part of the game. And maybe a big element of that is because, you know, they're very competitive. They're a very competitive game. And so adding in silly elements takes away from the competitive quality of it. So Heroes of the Storm announced a couple of weird things. The very first one is an arena mode. And you might be thinking, Dodger, that's nothing new. They're not innovating. I mean, Smite has an arena mode. Boo. This arena mode is gonna add a couple of things that you can't do in the normal Heroes of the Storm game. Like, you can have a bunch of the exact same character. You can have a randomizer so that it's just like all rando characters and you just play whoever. The arena itself, of course, is not divided up into lanes. It's just a big arena where you just fight and see what happens. The example that they give in the trailer is just a bunch of Illidans fighting each other. Like, just all Illidans. And I was like, alright, As a person who doesn't play MOBAs, I don't appreciate this as much as it seems like the ones responding to it are. A lot of people are really excited about this. They're like, oh my gosh, Blizzard is willing to give us a mode that's super weird and silly. Like, super silly, and just leave it up there and let us play around with it and actually give attention to it, hopefully, because I think Riot's drawback is the word I was looking for. The drawback with Riot doing silly things is that they don't keep up with it. And so, for the most part, Summoner's Rift is what they really pour all of their blood, sweat, and tears into, and then any other game modes, any other maps, just kind of falls by the wayside. So I think introducing something like this arena map is making people go, maybe Blizzard will actually consider this to be a valuable part of the game, like something that people can enjoy, which is the point of games in the first place, right? The other thing that was announced for Heroes of the Storm that I personally am very excited about is actually a reference to an old April Fool's joke that Blizzard did. They've now added a character named CHO'GALL to Heroes of the Storm, which is a two-headed ogre that two people play at the same time. I mean, Blizzard said they were gonna just throw mobile rules out the window, so I guess we should have expected something like this? I don't know. The stats we do know right now are if you have a friend who owns CHO'GALL, then you and that other person can play CHO'GALL. You don't both have to have it. Whoever controls Cho is going to be the one who controls the movement of the body. And Cho and Gall each control one head and both have separate attacks. So, unfortunately, what they've said is, in like a horrible scenario where the person playing Cho disconnects, it's replaced with an AI. So Gall is just kind of like along for the ride as an AI is controlling where to go and where to hide and what to do, and Gall is like, just kind of attacking as much as they can. If Gall is disconnected, then Cho is just able to do more abilities, basically. So if you, in the future, are like, oh yeah, I totally want to do CHO'GALL with my significant other, or my little sibling, or whatever else, just be aware, whoever gets to play Gall is definitely the one who's getting the raw end of the deal. His hero page is on the Heroes of the Storm website, so if you would like to check that out and read up all of the stuff about him that we know so far, go for it. But he's adorable, and I'm assuming that he's going to take up 2 slots since there are 2 people controlling him. I assume it'll mean that you're technically like one body down when you're playing, right? But you'll still have the same number of players on your team, which would be very interesting. Okay, on to some stuff that people have very strong feelings about. So, we finally got a World of Warcraft movie trailer. Oh my goodness, everybody kind of expected it to happen this year. Last year at Blizzcon, they showed a little bit of footage to people, and that's really all we got. But we sort of expected, alright, one of the things that they have to give us at BlizzCon this year is a trailer for the movie, right? And we got it. Some people love it, some people really do not like it at all, and some people are just kind of standing there going, why didn't they make all of it CGI? They're sort of trying to blend a lot of different things together, and I think it's potentially off-putting for some people in terms of an aesthetic, right? Because World of Warcraft has always had kind of a cartoony style to it, very bright colors. They opted to not give everybody shoulders that are the size of their entire body, which is fine. I can learn to deal with that. But there are a lot of, specifically costume crafts, in this trailer that you see and you're like, oh man, that doesn't, like, the silver elements of that don't look silver. It's just kind of flat looking in order to meet up with the aesthetic of the game, if that makes sense. And then, like, they decided, okay, we're gonna have the orcs be CGI, and then the humans be real, be not CGI, right? Because remember, this is an early Warcraft story, so it's just humans versus orcs. A lot of people saw that and got very confused. We're like, I don't know what it is about this, but these two things are not working together for me. And I think one of the reasons is because we've seen such incredible cinematics from them where they have CGI humans alongside of CGI orcs, that they're like, man, why didn't they just stick with all CGI? Why didn't all of it wind up being CGI? And also, it's very obvious that certain elements of the trailer are not the finished product of what the orcs look like, right? Some of the orcs, you see a brief glimpse of them and you're like, oh, that one didn't have as much detail in the skin and the texture and things as all of the other orcs did. Like, obviously, that orc isn't done yet, right? But it wound up having a weird cartoony vibe to it that I don't think they intended on. And I would just like to say for the record, I watched it and I was like, yeah, I'm in. Like, I'm totally down to see this movie. This looks awesome. And it wasn't until I read the comments that I realized, oh, but overall, the community is kind of confused by this trailer, which is very interesting because I didn't expect that. So this is me being a mouthpiece of thoughts and concerns that other people have had, and I know a couple of people who, in real life, have told me, I mean, the trailer kind of let me down. I was like, really? Man, that's too bad. And for any of you who are interested in Legion, which is going to be the next expansion for World of Warcraft, a lot of people got some hands-on time with it, so you should be seeing more and more articles coming out being like, I got hands-on time with Legion, let me tell you all about it. Overall, what I've seen so far has been very positive, so that's awesome for World of Warcraft players. They put out the opening cinematic, so if you would like to watch that, it looks pretty awesome, and I think is another reason why people are looking at that and going, God, they do so well at making humans. Like, why didn't they just do that for the whole movie? Which, I mean, the obvious answer is money and time. Anyway, we know that one of the perks, especially of pre-ordering, of course, is that you are going to be able to boost to 100 if you would like to. Also, we know that the game won't be coming out until September 21st of 2016, which a lot of die-hard World of Warcraft players are saying, nope, that's way too long. And I feel like that's kind of evidence against the longevity of the other expansions, right? Like the fact that an expansion can come out and then not that long after people are going, all right, well, I did that. I'm done. I did all of the things that you gave me. I need more, right? It baffles me. Like, if these expansions always come out so soon after each other, is it weird that I'm like confused by that? Because it feels like they're coming out quicker and quicker and quicker. And part of me would say, oh man, they're coming out too quick. But the people who play the game are like, no, they're not coming out quick enough. So are they just not getting enough content out of it? Maybe part of it is that Warlords of Draenor was sort of rallied as a reason to come back to WoW, or a good time for a new player to get into WoW, right? And then people were disappointed with a lot of it. They were disappointed with garrisons, and they were disappointed with how much content they got, and I don't know. If you would like to see both of those trailers for World of Warcraft, as well as read some more information about all of it, I will include it in the description, so check it out. Okay, so now let's talk about Overwatch. 2 things from Overwatch as well. I know, planned this out so fantastically. So, a lot of people really enjoyed the opening cinematic of Overwatch. The trailer that we all got to see that sort of set the scene of the world and some of the characters, etc., etc. A lot of us enjoyed that quite a bit, and we liked the sort of more Blizzard meets Pixar aspect of it. It felt very new and fresh. And so they decided, all right, we're actually going to do some animated shorts that are totally standalone. So they don't want them to be an overarching story or to all connect. They just want them to be little snippets of the world that you can watch in any order that you want, that'll just get you more involved and have you learning more of the lore and whatever else. Along with fully animated stuff, they're also going to do sort of like what they're calling comic animations? Comic shorts, not comic animations. Comic shorts. So these are gonna be like, you know how TF2 puts out comics that sort of build lore and characters and everything like that, and people really love them? This is gonna be sort of Overwatch's version of that. So while we have the animated shorts that are totally standalone and don't connect at all, the comics, it sounds like, are going to directly affect the story that you are involved in the game. It sounds fun. I think that it's a great idea because, again, when we first saw that trailer last year, I think a lot of reactions were like, wow, this is a very different feel, right? It definitely felt like it was more geared toward a younger audience, like maybe Blizzard was trying to get a younger demographic of fans involved in the Blizzard world, in the Blizzard family, if you will. So it wasn't going to shock any of us if they decided to involve cartoons or toys and things like that. It seemed like the perfect integration. So these animations and comics, not a shock at all, especially for me, the comics, because I know that they might not feel like they're in direct competition with TF2 because they're like, we're Blizzard, we're good. But I mean, they would do well to look at TF2 and see why people still love it so much. And as a final bit of news about Overwatch, something that I believe has been discussed more than anything else from the BlizzCon weekend, at least between me and my friends, is that Overwatch is going to have an actual retail price. It's going to be $40 or $60 for a special edition. A lot of people assumed that this game was going to be free to play, and I'm not sure why. I don't think that they ever implied it was going to be free to play. It just seems like other games that are in the same market are. So I think for the most part everyone assumed, well, the only way that they are going to be able to compete is if they have a free to play game, which honestly isn't Blizzard's style, so that confuses me that that assumption was made. So we do know that everyone is going to be getting every single hero, all of the characters, regardless. As they roll them out, you won't have to ever buy a hero. They'll be automatically added, because one of the big elements of this game is being able to swap out characters at any time, right? And respond to strategies and create new tactics. Like, that is a huge element of the game, and Total Biscuit and I were talking about this for a really, really long time. There was just no way that they could try to give you one of everything, right? Just be like, here, you have a tank and a sniper, right? Like, it wasn't gonna work like that. There was just absolutely no way. Because all of the different characters have completely different abilities. Even if they do fit into sort of a box like that, they're going to help you out in completely different ways. And they've worked really hard to make it so that you can create strategies that way. And so robbing their players of that makes no sense. So to them, they were like, well, I mean, you pay a base retail price, but then, like, all of the characters are going to be yours because that's such a huge aspect of the game. Like, there's no way we could do it any differently. So now people are asking, well, but are you gonna have, like, other kinds of microtransactions? Which, honestly, to me, if I were to buy a retail game, if I were to buy Overwatch for $40, right? And then all of the possible other things that I could buy would be skins and costumes and things like that, I'm totally down for that. I'm totally cool with that. I just don't want, gosh, just don't turn it into a payday. Don't give us like boxes that we can buy and then open and just I don't want it. I don't want anything like that. I just want to be able to play the game. I want to have all of the characters, and if I want one of them to look like Mario. That was a terrible example. I just want options, okay? I want options that aren't mandatory, that aren't going to make the game any different aside from the fact that I look like a booby Mario. So what do you think, dear viewer? Are you upset that it's a $40 game? Are you delighted that maybe this is a sign that things will be a little bit more straightforward? Because that's how I'm taking it. Let me know in the comment section. Let me know how you feel about anything I talked about during this show. Anywho, that's been my show. Thank you so much for watching. If you have a positive or a negative response, feel free to leave it in my comment section. I feel like I've said all this twice. What? And if you'd like to have coffee with me, you can click wherever I put the annotation and it'll take you to my other channel. But otherwise, I hope you guys have had a fantastic week and a fantastic day. And if you went to Blizzcon, I hope you had a great time and saw some dope cosplayers, because there are always dope cosplayers, believe me. And otherwise, I'll see you guys again next week. Okay? Bye-bye. Be safe. Mwah.
Go!